Is there any album that sounds more like manly tears than this album right here? Well, hello, my friends. We meet again. It has been a while. Where should we begin? Today, we are talking about an album that is so heavy, so full of chronic male masculine sadness that an entire subculture of memes has surrounded the band who wrote it, regarding it being so heavy that it causes everyone listening to it to spontaneously bloat max. And well, they're right. This album is so heavy that it has me crowd killing my fridge. This album is so heavy that it has me considering eating Arby's. This album is so heavy that it used to be a host on LolCow Live. And this album is so heavy that it asked me to help move an old CRT TV out of a basement. This album is heavier than that one scene in The Iron Giant, if you know, you know. The album we are talking about today is Crowbar's Sonic Excess in its purest form. And boys, well, I can guarantee you that that title is very, very apt. This album is one of the most crushing albums that I've ever listened to. It's not the fastest, it's not the slowest, it's not the most down-tuned, yet the whole package just comes together and buries you under the weight of its sound waves, which pulsate with not only the heaviest riffs ever conceived, but more importantly, some of the most pained and emotional vocals ever recorded. If there's ever been an album which sounds like your dad crying at your grandfather's funeral, this is it. This album is so powerful. The lyrics and riffs combine together to just bleed out peak male sadness music, as despite the overwhelming feeling of despair and grief and loss within the music and riffs, there's also this sort of stoic steadfastness, this beauty hidden within them. That type of feeling like obligation to duty despite the suffering, right? Going down with the ship that I think few albums have ever come close to matching. This is exemplified in the great, somber, melancholy melodies that resonate through all of the distortion and pain, and both the guitars and vocals really do play some actually very genuinely gorgeous and haunting melodies. And don't worry, we'll be diving into those melodies a little bit later on guitar here. Hell, boys, look, even the cover spells this out, depicting a statue of Jesus casting a huge shadow on the building behind him. This statue can actually be found in Crowbar's home city of New Orleans and St. Anthony's Garden behind the St. Louis Cathedral. Here it is on Google Maps. You can go check it out. I assume this is maybe like a tourist location, maybe, I guess. Jesus, of course, would suffer tremendously, but to me, this photo is much more symbolic than it is religious in connotation. Here we can see that despite Jesus being shown in the light, right, we can see that his shadow, his sadness, his grief, his pain is far greater and casts out into the physical world itself behind him. A motif and metaphor which many of the lyrics in the album share as well. And yet despite this, the statue of Jesus still stands in defiance of the world and suffering, still stands in the light. Really great album cover, and it really fits this album well. I really love that dark blue. Now, the album starts off with what may honestly be the best album opener ever, The Lasting Dose. This song starts off with a harmonized guitar intro that to me just sounds so much like manly tears, all before we're hit with one of the most glorious, crushing guitar riffs in history. The tone of these guitars is just so absolutely monstrous and towering, sounding like solid waves of granite coming out from my speakers here. It's actually crazy. I know these guys must have like quad tracked their guitars and a whole bunch of other stuff, but if anyone has any ideas about any of the gear that they used here, please let me know down in the comments. And while you're at it, make sure you leave a like on the video. It really helps me out. I think it helps more than you think it does. That's enough begging for me. Get right back to the video here now, guys. All right, so let's talk about The Lasting Dose. Opens up with that beautiful melodic intro, sounds a lot like something you would have heard off of like Heartwork or even At the Gates, Slaughter the Soul, even like In Flames kind of thing. Very melodic, right? Then they hit us with this just titanic riff. So yeah, very like doom metal, Black Sabbath inspired riff there. But Crowbar likes to use what a lot of people like to call like inverted power chords, but I like to just call them a power chord with a lowered fourth, right? So you play basically just a power chord and then add the note below it. Makes it sound really like chunky and heavy, and they use those chords all over this album, including on The Lasting Dose, right? So Inverted power chords. That would slide up there from their 3rd fret chord here, you know. Oh, and then really cool. And I really like how on this album too, almost all the songs aren't in the key of the lowest string, right? B. Like what most metal songs are. Most of them are in the key of, I guess it'd be E on this right E string. So you can go, so you can get that lower like 5 and 6 chord, right? You know, root 5, 6, 7. Root. That's what really makes it sound so heavy, and they use that to great effect here, right? 7, root, 3, 2, 5, 6. That 5 to the 6 just sounds so powerful from the 3, right? Ah! Oh man, it's just such a sick fucking Titanic riff to just start off your album like that. It's just so, so fucking good, man. So good. What a great riff. Kirk Windstein is the man behind Crowbar, and he approaches vocals here in a very, very unique and interesting way. Oftentimes, it sounds like singers are trying to add grit to clean singing. However, here it's sort of the opposite. It sounds like Kirk is adding melody to harsh vocals. It's a very distinct change. Like every bit of ounce and strength within his body is being channeled into making these vocals reach the pitches that he needs them to be, right? You can absolutely just hear all the emotion, the despair, the anger, the bitterness, and the resolution that he pours into the lyrics. But the melodies that he actually sings are very, very beautiful as well, and very somber. It's really an interesting dichotomy here. Very harsh and aggressive vocals with these gorgeous, gorgeous melodies. I'm sure Joe Duplantier was taking notes from Crowbar, as he kind of uses the same style of vocals later on. Anyways, this sort of like harsh singing is some of my favorite vocal styles of all time. And I actually think Kirk's vocals on this album might be some of my favorite harsh vocals ever put on a record. They're so good, man. Now, this song is very bluesy in structure, with most of it dominated by the same riff and vocal melody, bludgeoning you over and over and over again with like little detours in between. This style of songwriting is used throughout the album, and I'll be honest, you know, writing songs like this in this style could easily get boring and turgid. However, here, the riffs are just so cromulent and glorious and powerful that it honestly doesn't even matter, because they just sound so righteous. I'm not going to go through the lyrics on every song here, but I will highlight some of my favorites, and these lyrics are just pure catharsis. Quote, "Sometimes I need the fuel I drain from you. That lasting dose turns cold and blue. I've died before so many times. In time reborn, in time I'll find that everlasting glow that blinds my view. My apathy turns through and through. My war inside has drained my will. These things I've done were overkill. I felt the pain of a brutal war. I felt the pain of a lasting war." Man, reading those out, goosebumps. These lyrics combined with the delivery and wall of sound of the instruments here is just some of the most just masculine, emotional stuff ever. I'm sure everyone will take their own meaning from the song, but I just love that opening line. "Sometimes I need the fuel that I drain from you." Bro, just chills, man. And I especially love the delivery on the last line of the song, the only time where Kirk deviates from the main vocal melody. And a lot of these lyrics here, especially on the lasting dose, you know, they kind of reference, maybe it could be drugs, right? But the lasting dose could be almost anything. It could be your partner. It could be, you know, your family. It could be drugs. It could be alcohol. It could be gambling, right? It could be so many different things that Kirk is talking about here, right? And he feels the pain of a brutal war inside him. He dies and he's reborn so many times. How many second chances does he get? This song is just so powerful lyrically. And right when it's combined with just how distraught the vocals sound over top of this just glorious main riff. Oh man, it's actually just so good. What an absolutely amazing opening track. Maybe one of the best of all time. Absolute instant hood classic. Absolute banger. And I'm sure everyone will take their own meaning from the song here, and I think that's what makes it so great too. One of those things, right? You can take your own meaning, whatever you want from a song, it gives it to you. Just so good, man. To Build a Mountain is the second song on the album here, and boy, well, if you thought that The Lasting Dose was heavy, this song just takes it to a whole new level. What an absolutely insane opening riff with insane tone. Maybe like the heaviest riff I've ever heard, and it's just so incredibly fun to play. Now, to build a mountain here, this is an interesting riff as well, right? So it starts off, right? You're gonna play immediately just like the flattened 2. And so what they play there is they don't play, you know, what you would normally think you play, the open chugs, right? Say. Instead, what they do is they play, I guess it would be the, you know, the 2 strings up. Sorry, it's in B standard. It's all messing me up, but the E and the A string together, right? And then actually the bass is tuned to drop A, right? So the bass is tuned to A, E. So the bass plays the low A. So essentially it'd be like, if I drop this down to A, essentially they'd be playing like, right? But the guitar just plays the, and the bass adds that low A underneath it. Really makes that part just sound really, really heavy. Because essentially what they're doing there is playing an inverted power chord, but the bass playing that lowered 5th instead of the guitars like normally. Really, really cool there. This riff again as well, right? They hit that inverted power chord. So sick, and I just love that. Just such a powerful riff there. Just so much going on there, man. So good. Love that riff. This whole song is just full of just Titanic riffing. Don't be the slave. Don't let your weakness show. Don't build a mountain. This song just absolutely makes me believe that I could build a mountain. And ever since I first heard it on stream, by the way, I stream on Fridays, come check it out. This has been a regular song on my gym playlist. Again, Kirk's vocals here are basically just harsh vocals carrying a melody. And man, here on this song, they're just so invigorating, man. I can't tell you. The thumos of the song is actually off the charts. I know the way you feel. The extreme passion in the delivery of the lyrics here just blends perfectly together, although differently from the lasting dose, right? Rather than bleeding masculine sorrow here, To Build a Mountain manages to condense the very primal urge to succeed and overcome obstacles despite the suffering into just 4 minutes. Absolute keynote. Quote, don't be the slave, don't let your weakness show. To build a mountain takes a long, long time. Use what you've learned like a catapult and load the cannon when you need to fire. I know the way you feel. It's time to take the step. Don't walk away. Don't let your weakness show. It's such a journey to the promised land. When you arrive, learn to take control and do your living by your own command. End quote. Bro, again, I'm reading these out and I'm just getting chills. These lyrics sound like they could come straight out of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius here. Just so stoic and powerful. Kirk repeats the lines at the end of the song like a mantra here, and I love how all the riffs just get heavier and heavier and heavier until we move into another harmonized section, kind of reminiscent of the ones in the beginning of the lasting dose there, right? Crowbar are the masters of using dynamics here, right? If everything is heavy, then nothing is. So when the song moves into the final harmonized melodic riff at the end, it is just so different than the mountainous building riffs beforehand that it really, really sounds so melodic. It's like Kirk is saying, I've said my piece and now I let you to do the rest. It's like he's letting us go. Really genius songwriting here, and I don't even mind the fade out here as it sort of gives our ears a rest from the past 9 minutes of insanely heavy riffage. Just so good, man. Another instant classic, pure banger status. Holy shit, this song is good. Through the Ashes, the next song up, and it begins with some more very excellent melodic yet titanic riffage again as well. All right, yeah, Through the Ashes is really cool too, right? I played it in the intro of the video here, but big inverted power chords here again. Crowbar loves to use these, and I love the sound of them too. They're so good. So this riff is really, really cool. You go from playing these inverted power chord shapes that they played a lot on this album, but they add in the minor sixth, major sixths of these chords here, right? So this note here essentially playing an inverted power chord, right? Again, right? You got the root, fifth, and then the lowered fifth as well, right? But what they do here is they add that minor sixth, right? This is the root. So you're going to add that minor sixth. And you play those in like arpeggiated form. Just sounds just so sad and dismal, right? So then they slide down from there to the 7 chord, right? 7. But now they add the major 6 of that chord here, right? So you go from the minor 6 down to this one, which has the major 6. And that's just such a, oh man, such an emotional heavy sound, right? Especially when they arpeggiate it out in that slow tempo and Kirk's just pained vocals over top of it too. Flat second, really evil chord there, right? To the 6th chord. Oh man! What a righteous riff that is too. Just so sick, man. The main verse is perhaps sort of the most melancholic of all the songs here. It really sounds like despair, which then gets combined with perhaps Kirk's best vocal performance of the entire album, man. It's actually just so good. And it just gives such a sorrowful and depressive atmosphere, yet still manages to have this faint, like, heartbeat of hope within it. I don't know how Crowbar manages to do it. It's just, dude, so good. The lyrics on this album are obviously inspired by sort of like the destitution, poverty, and drug abuse, which is no doubt everywhere in New Orleans and Louisiana around Kirk, right? However, I really have to commend him that most of the lyrics here are written in such a way that, of course, you could see where he's getting the influence from, but you can derive your own meaning from them and apply them to your own circumstances. You hate that smell. To do that is one of the hardest things to do when writing lyrics and poetry, and only the best can do it, and he nails it here. 2 lines from the song really stand out to me. Quote, "You hate the smell, love the high it brings to you. Now walk the line and learn the way to end it all," end quote. Fantastic use of senses here. Smell is so closely linked with memories within the brain, so to hate the smell of something yet to love the high of it just brings such a potent metaphor, right? One that I'm sure we can all think of something in our own lives which brings out the feeling. Feel ashamed, you hate it, but you love what it does to you. Just really, really powerful line. Quote, "Now break the stone that's crushing you. You taste it now," end quote. Again, another use of a different sense other than, you know, touch, hearing, and sight, right? This time, breaking the metaphorical stone that is crushing you. And as you break it apart, building yourself, you can taste the dust in the air, breathing in the very thing which is killing you. Such a great metaphor, man. And Throughout the Ashes even changes up the tempo briefly with a fast passage right in the middle. Nice change at this point in the album, as most of it has been very sort of doomy, crushing stuff. Another fantastic track here, guys. Banger status indeed. Awakening is the next song up, and this song drastically speeds up the tempo, and dare I say it almost kind of flirts with death metal at times. I know sludge metal is more like hardcore influence, but I hear a lot of death metal here. This must be the sludge that I've been talked about, as so far the album has been very, very doomy. Some pretty good riffs here, and the change in tempo is very, very nice. Although I think I do prefer the more majestic and grand, sorrow-filled Crowbar songs, but this song's still good. I enjoyed it a lot. And the song's lyrics are a lot more straightforward, detailing a man fed up with alcohol and drug abuse as he sees his, quote, eternal slumber calling him, end quote. And maybe that is the purpose of this song here, right? Not to sort of metaphorically say things, but just to bludgeon you to death with the message, just as drugs and alcohol abuse will inevitably do to you as well. Decent song, not my favorite song here, but it works well within the context of the album. I'm not gonna give it a banger status though. Repulsive in its splendid beauty is the next track up, and it immediately course corrects from the last song back into this monstrous, titanic wall of sound that I've come to enjoy so much here. No messing around, right? It instantly just gets into the main riff of the song, and man, just what a riff. All right, so now we're at the riff for Repulsive. So that's really cool. So we start off on the root, right? The root is on the 4th fret here, right? Play that back power chord up to the 3 chord. Then we hang on that 6th chord of the minor scale, right? So 1, root, 3 chord, 6 chord. And when you hang on that 6th chord, it's a really, really emotional chord in the minor scale, right? And they just hang on it, linger on it. But what's really cool as well is then they add this. So they play the 4 and the 0. Really, really nasty interval there. But what he does actually is he bends the 4 note, the 4th fret here, to be like approaching the same note, right? And the A note, right? And in the context of this riff, it really makes it sound like it's pained, right? That's like someone crying out in pain, that note, right? Like, just so good, man. Insane, insane note right there. The notes that he's playing here, too, he's singing is really, really cool, right? You lead me nowhere. And I'm just hanging on the 6th chord, I'm not playing there. So he's playing, right? You lead me nowhere. And so what he's playing there too, right? When you go, he starts by singing the root there, which is the major 3rd of the 6th chord, right? That's why it gives it such a bittersweet sound there, right? And I'm going to attempt to sing in like the Crowbar style, right? You lead me nowhere. You hide the truth. You hide the truth. That one's cool too. He goes down to the 7. You hide the truth. So yeah, that's just so cool. They linger on that 7 chord, and Kirk sings right that major 3rd of that chord, and that's like the note that he comes back to all the time. That's what really gives it such a bittersweet feel to that as well. Such a cool riff, and it's just so poundingly heavy too. The lyrics in this song are just devastatingly sparse, which again gives ample room for the listener to fill in the blanks with their own meaning. Really, really cool. And this is just such an effective tactic to use, especially when combined with the painful melody and sort of dissonance of the riffs and the singing over top. So good. Quote, you lead me nowhere, you hide the truth, destroyed by something real, still you come to me. I'll carry all your pain, believe in my words, they'll carry all your pain. My walls are coming down, yours long ago. The threat of something real has you calling me. I'll carry all your pain, believe in my words, they'll carry all your pain. End quote. Every time I read this out, man, chills again. I'll carry all your pain. Again, often I try to interpret these lyrics in these songs, but I think me reading them out loud just has said enough. Pure poetry, some of the most Spartan yet scalpel sharp lyrics in metal, possibly ever, honestly. Amazing stuff again, pure Kino. If I could give higher than banger status, I would. I can't say enough good things about this song. It's just so simple, yet artistically complex, below the surface, vulnerable yet steadfast. Just incredible stuff here, guys. If you listen to any song from this album, make it this one, man. It's so incredible. Counting Daze takes the unfortunate job of following up after Repulsive, and it wraps up the despair and sludge to an extreme degree. This is may be the angriest song here on the album, and the riffs match the venom in the lyrics expertly. I love the opening line of lyrics in this song. Again, just so good. Quote, "You took the hard road this time, now keep it clean." End quote. You took the hard road this time. This song is very similar in structure to Repulsive. Both revolve around a main riff with a few brief detours in between the verse sections here. Again, enjoyable structure. This song seems to me to not be aimed at someone, but rather the venom and anger is aimed inwards. For me personally, I spent a majority of my 20s partying and binge drinking out at bars, and I can't help but feel a visceral sense of anger and remorse towards myself. You know, thinking, where would I have been if I didn't indulge in the alcohol, right? Look what indulgence cost you. That innocent times as a young man, lost in a haze of cheap beer and Crown Royal. It's basically been 3.5 years since I gave up alcohol completely, and I can say that in retrospect, my mind seemed to be in a blackened haze because of it. And I wonder if Kirk kind of felt the same way here. The song just speaks deeply and directly to me, and I love the catharsis it gives. Just know the world's gonna give you nothing. Just so good, man. Pure rabid anger banger here, boys. Sludgier than your hungover mind could ever be. And I really like how they're taking a little bit more of a pointed approach to the lyrics here at the end here. Counting Days is then followed by In Times of Sorrow, the only time any of the guitars even touch the clean channel on the amps. After the punishment of the first 6 songs here, this brief, beautiful, mournful, and bluesy instrumental is just so incredibly refreshing. It's like almost stopping in like an oasis in a desert or something, acting as like a palate cleanser from all the punishment beforehand. It just feels so introspective because of where it's positioned in the album. Really helps the pacing of this album well, because you're just getting bludgeoned all the way until you get here, right? Great stuff. I'll give it a banger status 2, as it just works so well in the flow of the album. More bands should do this. It Pours For Me snaps us right back into the sludge/doom metal goodness here. And right away, I'm actually reminded of Alice in Chains' Junkhead. The two opening chromatic descending riffs are very, very, very similar, and I can't help but think this is a very, very intentional tip of the hat towards Alice in Chains and sort of piggybacking on the meaning of Junkhead. However, It Pours For Me is far darker than Junkhead could ever be. This song is talking about someone in the depths of despair committing suicide. This is one of the least metaphorical songs in the album here, with the lyrics leaving little room for interpretation, which I assume for a song dealing with this topic is very, very apt and appropriate, right? The instrumentation seems to suggest this feeling of like a downward spiral, confusion, loss, right? The riffs sort of meander down and continuously fall downwards, and the other riffs in the song sort of feel like a whirlwind of emotions spiraling around. Turn my vision to the black night sky. Pretty cool, honestly, symbolic riffs here. And this song probably has the hardest mosh call out of the entire song, and it leads a little bit more to the hardcore side of things. Great song, and I really, really enjoy the spiraling the song spells out musically. Banger as well here, guys. Suffering Brings Wisdom starts out with this very subdued bass. The distortion on the bass rumbling away. Sounds great, monstrous sound. Before the guitars join in playing the same riff. The title of the song and some of the lyrics probably could have been taken from a Ryan Holiday book. It features a very, very slow pace with a riff that almost seems to contradict the incredibly dark and heavy lyrics. Really, really cool. Quote, all that I have loved forever gone below the earth. Centuries can't heal wounds or kill that hurt. These things make you become a man. These things make you become a man. Frozen in time, my body aches with all I do, fracturing bones, lashing at skin until I'm through. These things make you become a man. These things make you become a man. Let go of the love you lost. Suffering won't set you free. Knowledge comes from what you see and do. Just take the pain and grow and grow. End quote. The pain in Kirk's voice as he says the lines, "These things make you become a man," as he repeats it over and over again. It's like Adam Neely says, repetition builds credibility, right? It's like a mantra. These things make you become a man. Maybe trying to convince himself, right? These things make you become a man. This pain has to be worth it for something, you know? And that line is easily the highlight of the song, especially as the band moves from that sort of like arpeggio riff straight into those dirt, nasty power chords right when it comes. Insanely dark and heavy. And about halfway through, it switches to a very hardcore-esque riff, which works well to break the slow pounding tempo up. Again, nice change, right? You can't be all slow. You gotta have some fast parts here. The song's lyrics detail how suffering and loss is what makes you truly become a man, and manage to condense centuries worth of Stoic literature into like one stanza of lyrics. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Without the valleys, there are no peaks, right? You must take your pain and grow, lest you be consumed by your own suffering. Suffering is addictive, you know what I mean? And personally, this song makes me think of how losing my mom to cancer, all from 3 months of diagnosis to her passing, really made me into a man, right? Feels like everything before that event was boyhood, and only through the pain and grief was able to forge myself to be better and to grow and become a much better, well-rounded person overall. Really a fantastic imagery and just a cool message in the song that I deeply relate to. These things make you become a man! It's just, oh, bro, you just want to like shout it at your steering wheel at like full volume. Incredible, man. Now, overall, this isn't my favorite song in the album here, but "These things make you become a man" might be some of my favorite lyrics on the song. Overall, this is a great song too. Now, "Failure to Delay Gratification" is the penultimate song here, and the band brings out a lot of that older hardcore energy, with the first half of the song being basically like a straight up hardcore song before they sludge it up near the end. The shortest song on the album here, besides, of course, the instrumental interlude, but you know, that doesn't really count. This song to me is supposed to represent the sort of like powerless feeling of being on a runaway freight train that comes with being an alcoholic, having the disease of alcoholism, right? Again, a song that speaks to me in a deep personal level. You know, I was never like an alcoholic, I was just more of a binge drinker, but sometimes the universe gives you lessons that you need to see, and you can see how other people's lives were like a runaway freight train with alcohol, right? Really speaks to me on a deep personal level, as about a year before my mom passed, my father almost died from alcoholism itself. He had to be intubated. And after my mom passed away a year later, my uncle would die from the effects of chronic alcohol abuse only a few short months after her, right? So it's not often that the universe gives you such definite, concrete lessons, and it's up to you to listen to it, right? And these events were absolutely the catalyst to me to stop drinking completely, and which has easily been one of the best decisions of my life. I don't mean to trauma dump here on you guys here, and I don't want to overshare because this is about an album, right? But I feel like this album exudes a sort of aura of male kinship through suffering, right? It almost feels like a safe space. You go read the comments, whole bunch of people sharing their suffering and their pain, right? Really just fantastic stuff. Anyways, after my mom passed, rest in peace, Mom, I love you, I can only imagine the terrible pain and suffering that my dad felt, right? He was trying to stop drinking, but then his wife passes away, right? That temptation to numb the pain which alcohol promises must have been ever so tempting. And Kirk screaming at the end of the song, "I need that alcohol!" just sends chills down my spine and really makes me think of all that he went through. Really proud of you, Dad, for stopping drinking, and I love you. Really powerful song. But this is easily my least favorite song on the album. You know, despite the message, I just really like the sort of melodic doom side of Crowbar more than the hardcore side of it. Still a great song though. The last track here is Empty Room, and I just really love this song. What an amazing closing track. One of the only times you get Kirk singing not over top of this huge wall of sound guitars, instead just over a subdued bass section. It's a real nice change of pace. Then we have these low-key verses. We are snapped right into like such a fantastic epic riff. So good. I love how the real meat of the lyrics of the songs are found in these lower key parts and bass rolls and toms. In comparison to the rest of the album, it really makes it sound like Kirk is singing in an empty room, man. Amazing, amazing stuff here. Quote, I've tried to hide from so many things. At times, I've lied to myself. I built a room, I can't see anything, an empty room. I'm breaking out. There is no door, no sunlight coming in, just concrete walls and loneliness. Footsteps of doom, I hear alone at night. This empty room, I'm breaking out. Now I'm on my way, end quote. I'm breaking out! Now, this song's lyrics describe someone who hides away from themselves and perhaps their responsibilities, right? Lying to themselves so much that they have created this dark, empty, sunless concrete room, their own prison, which they find themselves trapped within. This empty room, right, it's lonely, it's cold, it's unfulfilling. The tone of the song is then changed to one of like this trepidational hope and optimism, with Kirk groaning, "Now I'm on my way!" over top of one of the album's best riffs as it all fades out into silence. Just so awe-inspiring, man. As it fades out, it leaves us battered, bruised, and bloody from the sonic onslaught we just endured. But it's not leaving us on some horribly depressing note of dismal decay, but rather the album ends on us facing a direction of growth, of healing, and of forgiveness, right? This album asks a lot from the listener, but in return, it does not hold back with this incredible masculine sadness which permeates every note and drum hit, right? This sadness isn't the sort of inconsolable sadness of a child, right? It's rather like the silent, internal sadness that comes with the passage of time, of love, of loss, addiction, and grief, childhood ending, innocence ending, the type of sadness which inspires us to conquer the insurmountable, to build a mountain, to grow as a person and as a man within a community, to achieve something greater. This is easily one of the best metal albums that I've ever heard. A truly tremendous accomplishment. I can't believe it took 31 years for me to hear it. I love this album. So good. I've been Varvis. Cheers.